Howdy, I'm John Ware. Written by Aisha Clough, that's me, and illustrated by Hugh Rookwood. Howdy, I'm John Ware, and this is the story of my cowboy life. I was born a long time ago, round about 1850. My family was enslaved in the southern United States. Some say I grew up on a cotton plantation in Tennessee or South Carolina. Others say we lived on a ranch in Texas. I don't like to talk about this time. Terrible things happened. Black people were bought and sold in markets. Our masters worked us hard and beat us often. Then came the American Civil War. 4 years of fighting between North and South. The North won in 1865. The country was reunited and slavery was made illegal everywhere in the U.S. We were free, but we had nothing, just hopes and dreams. I couldn't wait to get out of the South. I'd seen enough cruelty to last a lifetime. I love you, son. Bye, Ma. Bye, everybody. I was a teenager, big and strong. I got hired as a ranch hand in Texas. You can sleep in the hayloft. Show John to his bunk, son. I got a song, you got a song, all God's children got a song. John's a powerhouse. He can scythe as fast as 2 men. We'll hold on to him. After weeks of helping to start colts, I asked if I could ride one. It was a wild ride. I loved it. I was hooked. How did you stay on? I thought I'd never see you again. We were leaving Texas in an awful hurry, boss. But I finally figured out how to ride him. Yahoo! For years, I dreamed of having horses and cattle of my own. Then, in 1879, I got the chance to join a cattle drive. You've worked hard all these years, John. Take old Hound Dog. He's yours. Happy trails, my friend. We were taking Longhorns to Montana, up by Canada. The trail was rough. I was a dragman, stuck at the back with my friend Bill Moody, breathing in the dust of 2,000 unruly critters. Next up, in 1882, was a cattle drive from Idaho to Alberta, Canada. We got paid $1 a day plus grub. The trail boss was Tom Lynch. He had the dust of 1,000 miles in his whiskers. A black guy? You kidding me, Billy? If you want me, my friend goes too. Fine, put him on night duty and get him an old horse. One day, I worked up the courage to ask my boss for a little better saddle and a little worse horse. If by worse you mean wilder, we have a real bad bronc for you. If you can ride him, you can keep him. Finally! Got me a live one! Yahoo! I rode that bronc to a standstill, and I kept him. Soon I was riding by day alongside the best cowboys at the front of the herd. When we got to Alberta, Fred Stimson offered me a job at the Bayou Ranch, south of Millerville. I jumped at it. Any boys I should hire, Tom? John's the best man on the crew. If you want me, my friend Billy goes too. Deal, John. I loved Canada, but it was cold. The first blizzard, our cattle started running with the wind. We've lost John. He's crazy to stay out here. I was determined to stick with my herd, but couldn't turn them home. 5 days passed before the storm cleared. John, you're alive! You made it through the storm. Get inside and get warm. I can't feel my fingers, boss, but most of the cows are here. Soon the legends about me began to grow. He can ride anything with hair on. He can walk across a cattle pen on the backs of bulls. He can wrestle a steer to the ground. He was struck by lightning and he lived. He can lift a small cow. He's hands down the best rider and roper in the West. It's true I was big and strong, but here's my secret. I connected with animals. Like me, they had to work for a master. But there was no need for fear and violence. I cared about them, showed them love and respect, and they in turn gave their best for me. By 1885, I had saved $300, enough to buy 9 cows. I built a cabin near Millerville and registered a brand of 4 nines. It became known as the Walking Stick brand. No, you didn't! As word spread about my skills, I got a job at the Fancy Pants Corn Ranch. They had 12 thoroughbred stallions from England. They say you're a man-killer, Plume, but you don't fool me. You're in safe hands with old John. I was in charge of the horse herd and of breaking broncs. Folks would come from England to hunt on our wide-open prairie. Strange fellows, those lords and earls. They could ride, but they had no idea how to hunt coyotes. Up you get, fella. Sorry I ignored you all this time. When I get home, I'll send you a little present. In a big size. It wasn't all rosy. Some people in town didn't like the color of my skin. And one guy refused to serve me. I dumped him across the counter and served drinks to everybody. Whoa there! Take that! Even the police and government clerks hassled me. I never stayed in town long. About this time, a young lady called Mildred Lewis moved to Calgary with her family from Toronto. She's the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. That year, I spent Christmas with the Lewis family. After dinner, I asked Mildred to be my wife. If you'd like to be an old cowman's missus, I'd sure like to know. Are you asking me to marry you? Yes, John. We were married in 1892. I love you, Millie. Good thing, John. You know I'm a city girl, right? Mildred was a wonderful wife. She handled the ranch accounts and read me the papers because I couldn't read or write. She even milked cows and sold butter. Settlers were building homes near Millerville. It was getting crowded. I needed lots of grass for my growing herd. So in 1900, we moved to Dutchess, north of Brooks, in the Alberta Badlands. That year, the Red Deer River flooded. Our cabin was washed away. But ranchers don't know the meaning of the word quit. I built us a new home on higher ground, and in time, Mildred and I had 5 beautiful children and 1,000 of the finest range cattle. Our ranch became a base for the treatment of mange, a cattle disease. This stuff stinks. Yuck. Ugh. Yeesh. I also implemented new irrigation and feed systems and helped young ranchers any way I could. I couldn't have asked for a better life out here in God's country. If old Adam saw this, he'd want to sell the Garden of Eden. I died doing what I loved, riding my horse, tending cattle on my very own ranch. My gentle mare tripped in a badger hole and fell on me. Boom, I was gone. Can you believe it? After all the wild broncs I'd ridden, my own sweet girl did me in. It was a fitting end for this old cowboy. In Canada, my chosen country, and Alberta, my adopted home. My funeral in Calgary was the largest that young city had ever seen. Ranchers came from miles and miles to say goodbye to me, their old friend and neighbor. Finest gentleman I ever knew. Incredible horseman. Bless his heart, John was a good soul.